tell you, on December 2nd, 1805, a cold and foggy morning covered the fields near Austerlitz, and what happened that day would become one of the greatest military masterpieces in history. Because Napoleon Bonaparte was not just preparing for battle, he was setting a trap so precise that even experienced commanders from Russia and Austria could not fully see it. And what made this moment extraordinary was that Napoleon intentionally made his army look weak, especially on his right flank, even abandoning key ground like the Pratzen Heights to lure the enemy forward, creating the illusion that his forces were divided and vulnerable. And as the Allied commanders studied the situation, they believed they had found the perfect opportunity to crush him quickly, not realizing that every move they were planning was exactly what Napoleon wanted, because he had already studied the terrain, the weather, the timing of sunrise, and even the psychology of his opponents. And this teaches us an important educational lesson. True leadership is not just about strength, but about understanding perception, deception, and timing. Because sometimes appearing weak can be the strongest strategy of all.
As the Battle of Austerlitz began, the Allied forces launched a massive attack toward the French right side, committing a large portion of their army to what they believed was Napoleon's weakest point. But this decision created a dangerous vulnerability, because while they were focused on one side, their center, especially the strategically critical Pratzen Heights, was left exposed. And Napoleon had been waiting for exactly this moment. And as the morning fog slowly lifted and sunlight began to break through, he gave the signal for a powerful counterattack directly toward the center, sending his best troops to seize the high ground. And once French forces captured the Pratzen Heights, everything changed. Because from that elevated position, they could control movement, visibility, and momentum across the battlefield, effectively splitting the Allied army into separate, disorganized groups. And this phase highlights a key military lesson. Control of terrain, especially high ground, can determine the outcome of a battle. And even more importantly, it shows how timing and patience are critical, because Napoleon did not rush into battle. He waited for the perfect moment when his enemy was most vulnerable. By the end of the day, the Allied forces were completely overwhelmed, their formations broken, their communication disrupted, and thousands of soldiers were forced into retreat, some even fleeing across frozen lakes under pressure, while Napoleon Bonaparte secured a decisive and historic victory. And this battle not only strengthened French dominance in Europe, but also forced Austria to seek peace, effectively ending the Third Coalition against France. And the impact of this victory extended far beyond the battlefield, as it demonstrated a new model of warfare based on speed, coordination, and strategic thinking rather than sheer numbers alone. And the deeper lesson from the Battle of Austerlitz is powerful. Success is not determined by size or strength, but by clarity of vision, discipline, and the ability to adapt. Because Napoleon showed that when you understand both your enemy and yourself, you can shape the battlefield before the fight even begins. And this moral lesson applies beyond war, reminding us that intelligence, patience, and precise execution can overcome even the most overwhelming challenges.